Okay, now let me show you how to get rid of these magic numbers. The reason you should avoid magic numbers like 0 or 1 is that they hurt maintainability of your applications. 0 or 1 may be clear to you, but the next developer working on this code has no idea what these numbers are and where to find them. And that's why we call them magic numbers. Now, earlier, we defined these membership types using a migration. So membership types are essentially reference data. Now, in a lot of cases, this reference data is not used in the application code. They're purely used for populating drop-down lists. But in this case, you see we have some business rules around these membership types. In situations like this, you need to explicitly define these membership types in the domain model of your application to make your code more maintainable. So, in Solution Explorer, open up Models, Membership Type. I'm going to define a few static fields on this class. Public, static, read-only, byte, unknown. I made it read-only so I don't accidentally change it somewhere else in the code. So once we initialize it here, if we try to change it somewhere else in the code, we'll get a compilation error. Now similarly, I'm going to define another static field and call this pay as you go and set it to 1. So the value I'm assigning to these fields is based on membership types we defined earlier in our migration. Now back to our validation class. We can replace this magic 0 with membership type dot unknown. Let's put this on a separate line. And 1 with membership type pay as you go. So this way, the code is more readable and more maintainable. Now you might ask, okay, Mosh, what about the other membership types? Do we need to define them all here as a static fields? You can, but adding these extra fields does not give you any values at the moment because you're not working with them in the code. But if you prefer to have the complete reference list here, go for it. Also, another solution to refactoring the magic numbers is using an enum. So instead of defining a few static fields here, we could create an enum. I've used this approach in the past, but the problem with enums is that back in our validation class, when we use an enum here, we need to cast it to a byte to compare with membership type ID. And I don't like that extra casting. Alternatively, we could create another property on customer class called membership code that would return the enumeration member. Then we don't have to cast it to compare with our enumeration member here. But either way, we have to write a bit more code, and this is actually a bit noisy in my personal opinion. So I'm quite happy with this new approach that I have used recently. It's entirely up to you which approach you can choose. But the point is, you need to explicitly define these membership types in your code. Next, we're going to look at validation summary.